Gypsy Rose could end up back in trouble, and let me tell you why. She pled guilty to second-degree murder 8 years ago. She took this plea instead of going to court so that she only would have to spend 10 years in prison and she would have the possibility of parole after 8 years. Which means after 8 years, she's eligible to go before the parole board and basically plead her case as to why she should be out. When you plead your case in front of a parole board, basically you're explaining to them what you've learned from your mistakes. You admit to your crime and you say how you're going to move on and make the best of your life. And essentially explaining how you are not a threat to society and you could basically do better in this world after you committed your crime. And they should grant you this parole based off of the fact that you've learned your lesson, you have accepted your crime, and you are going to do better. Gypsy Rose went before the parole board and did this. And as she did this, she was granted parole. She was released out of prison December 28th of 2023. Now, in this clip I'm getting ready to show you is where Gypsy Rose has went wrong.
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it. I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
So after being released from prison, she's basically saying, well, I really pled guilty to this charge, but I don't think I was guilty. And Nicholas was, or is guilty rather. So she's essentially telling the parole board right now that, yes, I know that I said that I committed this crime, and I know that I said that I would be a better person, and I have learned from this crime, but you know what? I've decided that I didn't commit this crime, and I'm not guilty of it. And in my opinion, where she really went wrong is coming out and making all these interviews and having this docuseries and signing up for this new reality TV show and, going all over the country, doing these interviews with these news stations. It was a bad idea. Now, if I was Gypsy's friend, what I would have advised her to do was to do one interview when she got out. In that one interview that I would have told her to do, I would have told her to state her crime and basically say she's not trying to rehash the past. She knows that she's guilty of this crime and she's trying to move forward in a positive direction, and she really doesn't anticipate doing any other interviews at this moment. That would have kind of let the media know and everybody else know she was going to lay low. Rather than coming out immediately and going for like publicity and fame, it's not really a good idea considering she's still on parole. And in this interview, if the media would have asked her anything about Nicholas Godejohn, what she should have said is, I wish we would have done things differently. Unfortunately, we didn't, and here we are, and we've had to pay for our mistakes, and left it at that. Anything else that they had to ask, I would have told her to just state she didn't want to rehash the past. That way, she was taking accountability for setting Nicholas up to it, and basically stated that she wished things would have been different, and she moved on. Very simple. Now Nicholas Godejohn is going for an appeal, and I'm sure part of his appeal he will be able to use every word that she has put out there in the media. And if you really listen to both stories, his story sounds more likely. I could be wrong, but her story has changed. His story has stayed very consistent. He's like, this is what it is. And, obviously he has autism and he is schizophrenic. And really, he was manipulated. Regardless of if anyone thinks he was or not, he is autistic, and autistic people go from white or black. There is no in between, and he feels things 10 times harder than other people. So the fact that he felt like she was in danger, he felt like he needed to save her, and he did that. And from that point on, I would have stayed completely out of the media, out of harm's way. I would have played low with my new husband and mind my business. I would not have even gotten on social media. I would not have had a social media account. Because obviously the parole board and her parole officer is able to see all of her social media and everything everyone else is saying about her on social media. Even if other people were speaking about her on social media, if she didn't say much, there would be nothing for anyone to go after and say, oh, well, she said this, and here's where I think she missed it. So now she has opened herself up to a ton of things. And at this point, I'm sure she has gotten some advice to lay low, because I don't know if you noticed, she hasn't really been making videos. She's posted a couple of pictures of her and her family, but she really hasn't done anything else other than that. Social media is also a blessing and a curse. And the reason why I say it's a blessing and a curse is because social media can help free someone, but it can also help prove why someone's lying, or everything's going to come out in the open on social media. So essentially, on social media, she has sort of trapped herself by saying things that she shouldn't have said. And also in this podcast, she originally did, a lot of people did not see this podcast until people were posting clips on social media. So had she had stayed out of like any podcasts, any interviews, anything like that, no one would be able to say she said anything, and that way everything would have been fine. Her laying low, she should lay low until she gets off parole. So this new reality TV show that she's doing, Prison Brides, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think the docuseries at this time was a good idea either. She's in a very pivotal moment in her life, getting out, and I wouldn't want anything to mess that up. Because think about it this way. If she gets violated by her parole, all this money she's making, who is she married to and who's going to get it? And she got released out of prison. Her whole mindset should have been, I need to play chess and not checkers. And everything should have been a strategy. And I don't feel like that was the case. Because one thing we all know is one wrong move at this point for a Gypsy could knock her right off the chessboard. So she better be very, very, very careful. Anyway, I don't know what I think should happen. But I'm just hoping that kids that are watching this don't think that if their parents are doing anything that they don't agree with, or is abused, not to go get help and to kill them, because they'll find themselves in the same situation. Anyway, her speaking so casual about murder or her place in or part in this is kind of concerning. Those are my reasons on why I think Gypsy Rose might find herself in trouble. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye for now.